All right. I don't know if this shit is working, but we're about to fucking find out. Listen to some fucking banger ass music right now. I need to get better at this fucking YouTube shit because right now I fucking suck at it. Okay. Well, that looks like it's live. Sick. We have one watching right now. I'm motherfucking famous, nigga. Alright. I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna fucking do today, but you know, I'm gonna do something. We're gonna do top 10s. So, we're gonna do a lot of top 10s today. I know that was like a trend in 2015. We're gonna keep making it a trend. I took 2 caffeine. I'm absolutely geeked off the caffeine pills right now. Also, look at the fucking, look how the cut's coming along, dude. Look at that shit. Fucking looking absolutely shredded. This is a month out of prison too, okay? So people can talk shit, say that I don't look huge, because I don't. But goddamn, do I have some fucking, look like some fucking shredded cheese, brother. Alright? I'm looking fucking huge. Ish. This is some schizophrenic shit right here. If I saw somebody's notebook, somebody drew this in my notebook, if I went into this is what I would expect from somebody coming off of somebody coming off of opiate withdrawal, or in balls deep in a Benadryl pit or a fucking K-hole. So first top 10 black myths. This is gonna go hard. Top 10 black myths. Number 1. Well, we're going to start at number 10. Mansa Musa. Okay. Mansa Musa was supposedly the richest man, and I wanted to have some fucking shit that went along with this. I don't know how to fucking put like slideshows in OBS Studio because I'm retarded. So, we're not going to do that. I'm going to add that in post-production afterwards when I clip this. Number 1, Mansa Musa. Okay, so supposedly the richest guy ever in history who had $400 billion. One of the richest fucking people ever, supposedly. And this whole fucking thing started because of this one Jewish dude. It's not the fact that he's Jewish. You know, that's not the issue. It just so happens that all the issues are Jewish. But this Jewish guy made this really popular like 10 years ago. Okay? That there was this fucking black dude from sub-Saharan Africa that had so much gold, he went into Egypt and he gave so much gold away that it plunged the fucking gold market. Basically, this black dude was so rich that he gave away a portion of his wealth and it caused market manipulation for the gold in Egypt. So, a critical person, and there's a good documentary on this, if you go to my shit on fucking YouTube, subscriber playlist, it's in there. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to believe that some random black dude in sub-Saharan Africa where they lived in fucking huts went into Egypt, one of the most advanced civilizations in history, and just had so much disposable income. What most likely happened, because you guys see it now, black people will literally spend all of their money that they don't have to try to look rich. That's a very black thing. That's a very black culture thing. That they'll spend all their money on prom, like $10,000 on prom, to look like they're rich for a fucking day. I went to prom in a fucking $100 suit. Don't get me wrong, I look fucking good. But that wasn't a thing, to try to go to prom and look fucking extra. This is a very black culture thing. So, as it turns out, when you dig further into it, he wasn't the richest man ever. And he actually spent all of his fucking money to try to look rich. He completely squandered all of their wealth to look rich in Egypt. Which is a much more likely scenario. Number 2, Wakanda. Okay, that's actually something. So maybe not all black people believe in Wakanda. but pretty much every single black person believes in some sort of Wakanda myth. So they believe that there was, if you were to ask them, do you think that there was a hyper advanced black civilization in Africa at one point that was dominated by black people? Every one of them is going to say yes. They're all going to say, yeah, absolutely. We was Kangs, man. We was space travelers and shit. So that's number 2. Number 3, black Hebrew Israelites. We was the richest. We was hyper advanced, and we was Jews. Okay, we was everything. And black Hebrew Israelites, that's just another goofy one. And all the black Hebrew Israelites have, I'm not gonna lie, the coolest fucking names ever. Like your honorable King Archangel Demetrius. They always have these cool fucking names that they give themselves. Okay, so my fucking stream's all fucked up, dude. Why isn't it letting me edit it? It's not making me, not letting me make it bigger, dude. What is this? Stretch. Oh my gosh, dude. That does not look fucking. This looks fucking retarded. This looks highly retarded. What's happening here? Okay. We're gonna have to add, we're gonna have to fuck with this here for 1 second, guys. Oh, there it is. Look at that. I'm a motherfucking tech genius. Except that now I can't fucking edit how big this is. God, cocksucker, dude. Absolute cocksucker. Okay. Way to fucking ruin it, dude. Way to fucking look retarded. Way to be an absolute fucking. I'm over here freaking talking shit. And I'm looking like a fucking literal retarded person. Transform. There you go. That's what you guys want to see, right? That looks better, doesn't it? And we'll just put that right there so it's not on my fucking head. Okay, guys. About fucking time I figured that out. Black Hebrew Israelites. All right, that's number fucking 4. Black people built America. Black people absolutely did not build America. Picking cotton is not building America. Okay? They can't even build their own country. If they were so capable of building shit. Well, I mean, when you think of a race, like if you want somebody to build your house, what are the 2 races you think of? You think of Hispanics and white people. Like, you're not going to go to an all-black company. Be like, yeah, I want you guys to build my house. Sorry. Okay. I'm not saying there's not good black construction workers out there and framers. But when you go on TikTok or whatever, when you look at all these people doing hard manual labor, you'd be hard-pressed to find a black person in the picture. Hard-pressed. And I just think that explains all of it right there. I think that, I don't think picking cotton was that bad if you was with your niggas. You know what I mean? I don't think it was that bad if you were hanging out with your niggas. I've done some pretty difficult shit in my life. And a lot of it was pretty fun because I was with my niggas. Original humans, the Yakubian theory. Now, I'm not going to lie, this is pretty cool. This, yep, it's picking up audio from right there. That's a pretty cool theory. I mean, the creativity of these motherfuckers, dude, is straight up amazing. No. I gotta get my shit together, dude. There you go. Less nipple. You guys have heard this, and I'm just staring at my fucking nipples the whole time. Yacubian ape. I take the title of Yacubian ape pretty proudly. I think being a Yacubian ape is kind of a fucking flex, honestly. So what the Yacub, like, what that whole fucking theory is that basically there's this dude named Yacub. He goes to a fucking isolated island in the middle of nowhere, and he breeds black people to create white people. And people actually fucking believe this. And believe it or not, this theory was actually created by a Jewish man, ironically enough. They're everywhere. 2% of the population, 100% of the silliness. Okay. And they fucking. So, I didn't know I was getting chats. I have 2 chats, bro. Look at us. So they fucking think that this motherfucker Yacub, just look up Yacub. Okay, look that up. People legitimately believe that this motherfucker went on an island, like the island of Patmos or some shit, and bred a bunch of white people. And basically bred the soul out of them. Bred the soul out of black people to create white people. And I'm not gonna lie, that sounds pretty fucking cool. That's a pretty cool theory. Last one is dude who makes oil from plastic. So you'll notice this in every single black people are just on another level, dude. I love how excited they get over shit. When you go to black TikTok or any other black space on the internet, besides it being just an absolute social study and just a fucking absolute zoo, no pun intended, no racism intended, but literally just an absolute fucking conundrum. You go to black TikTok and shit, and there's like this dude in Africa who they're like, man, look at us, like all these white people talking shit. Look at this guy over here. And it's just this fucking dude who got a lawnmower and put some fucking blades on it. And he still has it. They still haven't figured out, like they're right at where the Wright brothers were when the Wright brothers just started. And they're like, this motherfucker invented flight. They're like, look at this guy. This guy's inventing a fucking plane that you can build in your backyard. It's like, the plane it's just the funniest fucking shit, dude. And so there was this dude who they were saying was like inventing, he was like, I'm not gonna laugh. He was inventing fucking making oil and making fossil fuels from plastic. And there's just all these videos, and in the comments are like, hey man, you need to, hey man, you don't want to kill yourself. You ain't suicidal, homie. Like this guy's inventing something fucking crazy. They're like, man, the last person who did this got fucking killed. It's like this guy's literally just Googled some shit, and he's doing something that white people have been doing for about 150 years. But the comments are all filled with nothing but black people. And then if you can't even say anything about it. You can't even say anything about it because then they'll hop on you. They'll just attack you for being racist or retarded. So it's a funny fucking thing. I don't know if you guys know any of that shit. But yeah, go look up black TikTok when you get a chance. That's the funniest fucking shit, man. This guy will be using something that's literally already created, and all these black people will be in the comments. And I'm like, man, I love that for them, dude. I love that for them. And so here's another thing. So I think that was like, I don't know how many. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's just top 7. I'm not gonna do fucking 10, dude. I'm done with this whole black person thing. I have a little bit of fatigue. People who I'd send to work camps. So I actually think that work camps are a viable political option. I think work camps are pretty based. I got sent to basically a re-education camp. They send people who do drugs to re-education camps. Right? So concentration camps and re-education camps. Oh yeah, Coco the gorilla. So that's another fucking thing. Coco the gorilla was an estimated IQ in the 80s. The average IQ in sub-Saharan Africa is in the 60s. So that monkey was more self-aware than the majority of people in sub-Saharan Africa. Yeah. But those people in sub-Saharan Africa, when they move here, they do have voting rights. They do have the ability to vote and interact with normal people. And so when you see all those people get together, it's just a very interesting fucking thing. It's very fucking funny. Very funny to watch. And so work camps. So I was talking with my mom the other day, and so Colorado banned the Handmaid's Tale. So Colorado banned the Handmaid's Tale in fucking schools. And some of my family members and shit like that were all pissed off about it because they're like, "Oh, that I can't believe. Can you imagine they banned The Handmaid's Tale?" As if The Handmaid's Tale is like a viable book. It's fucking smut. The Handmaid's Tale is just absolute smut. All these books that are meant as critiques of the patriarchy or whatever are literally just smut novels. Like, read them. It just talks about, like, oh, he held me down and plunged himself into my fertile whatever the fuck. It's like, this is literally just smut porn. So those people who think that the people who put that stuff in schools, work camp. Okay? Put them in a fucking work camp. I don't think, like, what productive things are you going to get from that conversation? How it's fucking insane that you can actually have a conversation, that we're at the point in our society where you can sit down and have a conversation with somebody, or you should have to have a conversation with somebody about, hey, should smut be allowed in schools? Should basically porn be allowed in schools? The people who are entertaining that should just be sent to work camps. Work camps. Redditors, work camps. Send those guys to fucking work camps. I'm not going to elaborate on that. Every single person who goes on Reddit and actually engages in discussions, not unironically, send them to work camps. Grown men who have Star Wars memorabilia, send them to work camps. Okay? If you're a grown man if you're over the age of 20 and you have anything Star Wars related and you actually talk about Star Wars in your day-to-day life, you should be sent to a work camp, a forced re-education camp. And I don't give a fuck what they teach in it. They should just basically punish these people. I mean, is there anybody who's more pathetic than a grown-ass fucking man with kids who has Star Wars memorabilia and who talks about his favorite Star Wars character and has fucking Star Wars memes and shit? Send them to work camps. Guys who open carry their pistols. Anybody who open carries their pistols? Yes. Redditors, no, that's what I'm saying, is those Redditors, you have to put them in the fucking work camp and you have to threaten them, obviously. I'm not advocating for violence, except yes, I am, but put them in fucking work camps. Make them strong. Make them not fucking weird anymore. And basically just have somebody like myself who's there just be like, stop, like, just punishing them for being weird. Guys who open carry fucking pistols. So, the only reason why you're open carrying a pistol is because you either are go on Reddit or you have Star Wars memorabilia. Okay, why the fuck you open carrying a pistol? That's just the gayest. That's literally gayer than butt sex. So these things could also be called things that are gayer than butt sex. But I'm just saying send them to work camps. Boogaloo boys. Okay, guys who, like, that was a big fucking thing 5-10 years ago. Guys who fucking talked about the Boogaloo, wore these Hawaiian, they're just fucking LARPers, dude. Just all these fucking LARPers. Put them in a fucking work camp. I mean, there's nothing gayer than a dude who got out of the military and still wears his military shit all the time. And all he does is talk about a fucking revolution. That is some of the gayest shit ever. Men into Marvel. If you're a man and you unironically talk about Marvel in your day-to-day life, or you have like Star Wars or Marvel tattoos, immediately in a work camp. Hard labor. 10 years of hard labor. I used to be against authoritarianism. I used to be against punishing your political opponents and being, because I used to think these things were evil. But now that I realize that the people who are these absolute fucking weirdos, they're gonna change. Like, they're not conducive to a proper society. Especially all of these fucking people. Especially if you're into Marvel. Like, what use do you have in the world? You should not be allowed to vote. And people who talk about AI sentience, that's the big one. If you're sitting here and you actually question, you unironically post questions like, what about AI sentience? When do you think AI is gonna like, well, like, what's the difference between just work camp? Don't even have discussions with these people. Don't allow them to engage in society, and just send them to fucking work camps, dude. Also, one thing that's fucking one of the, whoever invented the toilets that when you sit down to piss in them, you spray piss all over yourself. Though that person should be sent to a work camp. When you sit down and take a piss, and your piss just sprays all over your fucking underwear and your balls and everything and your legs, those toilets were clearly designed by the devil. Okay. Fucking, there's nothing worse than that. Because now you just have piss all over yourself. Now you just feel like a fucking weirdo, dude. Absolutely, dude. Guys who fucking open carry, the only reason why people open carry is because they're insecure and they're trying to posture and they get no bitches. They're just very fucking insecure, weird dudes. You go, why the fuck are you open carrying your pistol? They're like, oh, it's the only. I mean, literally, it'd be better to not carry a pistol because if I am trying to break into a place and I don't have a gun and I see somebody who's open carrying, I'm like, oh well, it looks like I just found a gun. You know, it looks like I have a gun now. Your gun's my gun now. I mean, what's stopping that guy from coming up behind you and fucking clubbing you and taking your pistol? Literally the dumbest shit ever. I think I'm running into issues here. All right, pop some questions in the chat. I'm going to do this for another 10, 15 minutes. We'll keep it to like 20, 30 minutes today. Yeah, no, so Patate Patat was actually with me. I went to go get a fucking tattoo one time. Spur of the moment, I go into a fucking tattoo shop. Lo and behold, there's a dude there named Spider. I said, hey, I want to get a neck tattoo, like a fucking idiot, right? Spur of the moment neck tattoo. I don't know how I thought that would have ever went well. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Spur of the moment neck tattoo sounds like a great idea. So I go in there, I talk to him, I'm like, hey, who can do my neck tattoos here? Blah, blah, blah. I tell them what I want. Something very small and simple. And they're like, there's this dude named Spider. They mentioned somebody's named Spider. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is very serendipitous. I need that fucking guy Spider to do my tattoo. And I knew that I should have known this was a bad idea when Spider came up and Spider was like, oh no, like I don't want a tattoo right now. And I was like, no, dude, you have to do my fucking tattoo. You absolutely have to. Like this tattoo was done by a dude named Spider when I was in California, first joined the Marine Corps. I was like, nope, it's got to be you, bro. He's like, no. For like 5 fucking minutes, I'm convincing this guy to do my fucking neck tattoo. Dumbest shit ever. He takes me back there, and his is the only station with absolutely no fucking lighting at all. The dude puts the thing on my neck. He's sitting there for a little while. I'm obviously fucking nervous, right? But I'm like, how can you fuck up a little cross? I look at the fucking tattoo and there's like a little, one of the lines is just slightly off. I'm like, hey dude, it's a little fucked up there. Can you fix that? Other than that, it's good. He's like, yeah, sweet. Does it fucking sit? You could tell looking at, well, I was looking at his face when I was doing it. He just like was like looking worried as shit. I'm like, oh fuck, dude. Heart sank. I'm like, this is not going to look good. The dude fucking, I get done, look at it, and I'm like, oh my fucking God, bro. This is the worst tattoo I've ever seen. I'm like, how could you do this to me? Like it was the worst fucking tattoo, had the worst lines that you've ever seen in your fucking life. I'm like, bro, this is on my neck. How the fuck could you possibly have done that to me? This is the worst tattoo I have ever seen in my entire life. The dude literally started crying. He was sitting there like, you could see he was starting to get emotional, which made me like the guy a little more because he actually legitimately felt bad. He realized that he fucked my shit up. And so he gets the fucking owner of the tattoo shop to come over. I'm like, bro, this is the worst tattoo I've ever seen in my life. He's like, oh, it doesn't look that bad. I'm like, we are not looking at the same fucking tattoo. So he's like, oh, let me put my nuts on it. So this guy comes up, he's like 5'2", has Star Wars memorabilia all over his fucking wall in his thing. First red flag. Besides the fact that he was open carrying a pistol in a tattoo shop. This guy comes up 5'2", neck beard. Just looks like a fucking Reddit moderator, dude. Guy looks like a fucking weirdo. I should have just fucking left. But he's open carrying a pistol. Has tattoos. He has all that Star Wars shit all over his thing. I sit down. He puts on fucking a monocle. And he starts working on my neck. He gets done. And I'm like, it does not look fucking good, bro. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? I'm like, do all you guys just suck at tattooing? What the fuck is wrong with you guys? He's like, well, the problem is, when we do neck tattoos, you have to turn your neck this way and it causes the lines. I'm like, so why the fuck do you make me turn my neck this way? Let me just have my neck go straight. He's like, it doesn't work that way. I'm like, this is the dumbest fucking shit ever. And so he reaches for his pistol. The guy, this fucking little manlet weirdo, reaches for his fucking pistol. And he says, get out of my shop right now. I'm like, and he's like, get out of my shop right now. Like a fucking black girl. Anyway, kicks me out of the tattoo shop. I got a neck tattoo for fucking free. Look at this shit. This fucking neck tattoo. Not the fucking worst one, dude. I guess not the worst fucking free tattoo. It looks like I got in fucking prison though. This is done at a professional fucking tattoo shop. So. He was the embodiment of everything on my fucking list. Men who cry can't vote either. What a bitchy thing to say. What a fucking naggy bitchy thing to say, Kelly. What's wrong with crying? Huh? What's wrong? I thought girls wanted guys to fucking show their emotions sometimes. So, I do agree though. Okay, guys shouldn't be crying in front of a girls bunch. Me, I've cried in front of girls a few times, okay? Based thing to do. Okay? It can be very based. It depends on what it's about, and it depends on where it's coming from, and it depends on what type of guy you are. Okay. Depends on what type of guy you are. But if you're crying for no fucking reason, yeah, you should not be allowed to vote. I agree. In private, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think as a guy I really don't think you should be generally crying in front of women very much. I do agree. But girls are also, it's just fucking how it is though. Like girls are like, oh, I want a guy who shows his emotions, and then guy's mom will die. And then the girl will be like, permanently have the ick because of that. I've heard conversations, because I used to be a personal trainer for a lot of women. And it is fucked up out there. Because this woman was talking about how her husband cried one time and she just has not been able to look at him the same since. I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. Kind of fucked up. But yeah, I wasn't really feeling the stream too much today. I'm getting back in the fucking groove of things. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at noon. My next one's gonna have a little bit more. I'm gonna have more infographics, more examples of everything. It'll be better. No, that is true. What do you mean she's lying when she tells you that? Do you mean potato patata? Or you mean that chick who said that she got the ick from my fucking... Okay, girls, don't be getting in a fucking argument in the chat. This is not a place to fucking bicker. The chat is not a place for girls to bicker. Oh, women who tell men to cry. Yeah, absolutely. It's because girls want to have a guy. Like, girls just love... There's nothing almost more pleasurable to most women than absolutely crushing a man's soul. Okay? Women are fucking demons. It is in them to want to destroy every man on the fucking planet. Okay? Which is a good thing and a bad thing. But that's why you never listen to a fucking woman. Never ever listen to women ever about anything. Okay? About anything that they say, never. Okay? Because they will always tell you something that is not the right thing to do. Either for yourself or for them. It's always do the opposite. Top 10 Asian myths next. I'll write that down. Well, I don't know. I don't really know Asian men myths. I don't think they might have created gun. Like, what the fuck is really going on with the Asians, bro? We nuked the masculinity out of Japan, and now they fucking fuck robots and shit. But you see some pretty good shit coming out of Japan. All these Indians. It took a bunch of fucking Indians coming into Japan for them to fucking become samurais again. Like, yeah, looks like we're radicalized again. Japanese nationalism, bro. You just throw a bunch of Indians into any country, and it'll just piss them off, bro. Look at fucking Britain. Look at any place you toss a bunch of Indians in. The only thing keeping Indians from getting fucking kicked out of every country is boomers. Okay, the gay boomers who are like, I'll fight for your right, even though they've never done anything in their life. I'll fight for your right. I don't care. I love my country. I want to be able to fucking trannies with guns. Trannies with guns. That's what America was built on. The right to be gay and the right to have a gun. I want every person in America to be gay and have a machine gun. Right? That gay libertarian fucking freedom shit. That's why freedom's gay, dude. Freedom is a LARP. Freedom is a total LARP. Freedom is the gayest shit ever. There is no freedom. If our government's going to be making laws to help people, instead of making laws like, hey, you can cut your kid's dick off, okay? Oh, you can't go over 50 miles an hour on the stop. 50 miles an hour. We don't live in a fucking free country, dude. If I don't want the cops to pull me over, then they'll kidnap me. And if I don't want them to kidnap me, then they'll shoot me. So how about some laws to actually help us, like no Indians? Start there. Freedom's gay. Freedom's LARPing. Absolutely not. We need a fascist government. Show Harry Tarantula. Women do mean the opposite. The thing is, the women are like children, bro. Women are like children. You cannot hold them. I mean, holding them accountable is good, just like you would a kid, but do you blame a kid for being a silly little kid? No, women don't think that deep into shit usually. They're just fucking kids. You can't take them that seriously. They're gonna say it's our fault for taking women too seriously. Our fault for taking them too seriously. Like if a kid tells you, I want ice cream for dinner, I think ice cream is gonna be a good idea for me to have for dinner every night for months. And if you're a retarded parent, if you give that kid ice cream every month? Oh, but my kid said he wanted ice cream. Yeah, he's a fucking kid. So that's why you have to understand that you are better than women. You are smarter than them. You do have a higher level of actual cognitive ability. You do have a higher responsibility as well. So our problem is we've been told for decades that we should listen to women. And the problem is we have a bunch of very pussy and feminine ass men, and all of our kids are getting indoctrinated in schools, and all these women are holding HR positions. So what women love doing is they love seeking out positions of power, and they're also encouraged to seek out positions of power. They're encouraged to seek out positions of power because they're easily manipulatable, okay? And women in positions of manipulatable. And women in positions of power can perpetuate whatever those who control things want them to perpetuate. And they create weak work environments. They just create a fucking shitty ass work environment. Women who are leaders, women who are in positions of power, they basically treat shit like a kindergarten classroom. Okay, and in kindergarten classrooms, like a society ran like a kindergarten classroom is a docile, retarded society that does not encourage free thought, free action, innovation. It's an easily controlled environment. So obviously the elites or whatever the hell, the Jews, whatever you want to call it, are going to put and reinforce and encourage these women to get in these positions of power. And pussy ass men who thrive off of the validation of women, because they'll never get the validation of men, of real men, because that makes them uncomfortable. So they seek their whole life and they can't compete with real masculine men in the sexual marketplace or in society. So instead what they do is they become allies. They're snakes in the grass. And they put on this disguise and they base their entire lives off of appeasing women. But these women don't respect them. They might sleep with them sometimes, but these women don't fucking respect them. But that's enough for them. That's all that they think that they can get. And then what do they go about their entire lives? What do they dedicate their entire lives to? And like what a lot of people do. They find things that make them uncomfortable, and they do their best to extinguish that problem, which is masculine men, men who are better than them, because they see that, and part of them is jealous, and they hate the world. They hate what they will never be, and they're conditioned to be this way as well. So it's a multiple pronged attack. It's all of these different influences. It's women, and it's passive pussy ass men. Okay. And those three things, like, women are used as a weapon against men. Okay. And men are used as a weapon against men. And the problem is, a lot of guys don't want to go again, and they stuff us in these cities because they know that human beings are prone to social pressure. So if they have us at all times plugged into a society that they influence almost entirely, human beings, because they don't like to think and I like to pick the path of least resistance, these human beings, this society basically acts as a breeding ground for all of these shitty behaviors. And so they put all these people in this society, and we're all influenced negatively by it. And they do everything. And if you don't engage in the society, if you don't engage in it, then, I mean, you can't really survive. You can't have a normal life. And everybody wants to have a normal life. Everybody wants to be accepted, right? Everybody wants to be liked by others to some degree. Everybody wants to fit in to some degree. They want to feel like they belong. And if belonging means fitting a certain criteria, the majority of people are going to do their best to fit that criteria. So, and that criteria is upheld by all of these different mechanisms. And those standards are put in place through years and years of indoctrination and influence. The women are always the weak link on a team. Okay, that's not saying women can't be good salesmen. Women, they can be great. But every time I've ever worked in an environment where there's women, they've always taken advantage of the fact that they're women, naturally. They do everything they possibly can to get the other guys who are betas, whatever, these other guys who want to appease them and want to fuck them, to do a lot of the work for them. They take advantage of the system, take advantage of the people around them. And they use all that kind of shit to their advantage. I do not like, that's one reason why I don't ever want to work another actual W-2 job again, is because I'm going to be forced to work with women. I always run into issues. These women always fucking end up hating my guts. Certain ones. And I always run into fucking issues. And it's always the same type of woman. Liberal, fat, ugly women. And they do everything in their power possible to ruin my life. I am oppressed. Okay, I am oppressed. But women can be a lot of great things, dude. Women can be good at a lot of things. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't ruin, if you inject a woman into an all-male environment, that they're not going to completely ruin the environment like they do. Okay, you put a woman in any, like there's a reason, we got to bring it back to, like, no girls allowed in the fucking clubhouse, okay? That was sick. No girls allowed, okay? Yes, girls do stay perpetually 10, and that's how it should be, and that's how it is. The problem isn't necessarily women. It's the fact that women are in certain things, because they're just going to be girls no matter what. Now, the modern girl today is usually an insufferable bitch, honestly. And that is not a good thing. So there should be some accountability there. Let's toss some more fucking shit in the chat, guys. Oh, guys, also, drugs. Pharmaceuticals. When are we getting the woman version of Leon DeGrelle? Bro, I'm glad that you brought up Leon DeGrelle, homie. God, that's fucking holy ball knowledge, dude. I was actually just thinking about that nigga the other day, man. What a great series, what a great man, dude. What a great thinker. We'll never get the woman version of Leon DeGrasse. The Bible, I believe in Thomas, it talks about how for 10,000 men you'll find one solid one, and for or for 1,000 men you'll find one good one, and for 10,000 women you'll find none. And then Plato was also just the woman. You'll just Plato, just everybody, every great thinker since the beginning of time is in agreement with me. I agree. And strong men don't allow women to fucking do girl shit. Like, they don't allow them to be the victim of their own actions. Like, the whole, what a woman, what a real feminine woman really wants is to be seen so valuable that they'll get locked in a castle and basically be not allowed to leave. Like, oh my God, you're so perfect and so beautiful and so precious that I'm going to lock you in this tower so nobody can hurt you. And I feel like most girls would just be, honestly, most feminine chicks, they're happiest in that environment. Being locked away like some piece of treasure. Being guarded away from the world and all the problems that come along with it. And be like, hey, you're not allowed, don't make your decisions, I got you. You know? And then some guy to rescue you, some solid guy who's going to rescue you from your current situation. Free you. But the thing is, you're not completely free. You're still being protected. Because it's not like this weak pussy that's coming and rescuing you and slaying the dragon. It's this strong masculine man who can protect you against the most horrible thing, who's basically invincible. And who's conquered the most horrible things that life can, the thing that can threaten you the most. And keep you the most safe out of everybody. So this man comes and frees you. It's all about that whole archetype. It's not societally created. Society created that because that was the inner desire of women. I'm sounding really retarded right now. I have really bad brain fog. And I don't know if I took too many caffeine pills today. I'm losing track of how many I had. I may have had 3. That could be why I'm so geeked right now. Okay. But that's what women really want. They want to be locked away in some fucking castle and then rescued by a strong masculine man who can protect them forever. And they could be submissive to him. And it's up to us as men to be that strong masculine guy who can save and rescue a girl from all of that shit and slay the dragon. But it's also up to women to be able to fall into that feminine state and give us what we want and what we deserve, what we've earned. Not every guy deserves this, or not every guy has earned this. But it's up to them to reciprocate when a man has earned that. Hell yeah, watching this at work, dude. Say the N-word at work, dude. I hope you're in a workplace environment where you can say the N-word, where you can say nigga. I don't know if I can say nigger on stream. This might get taken down for that. But hopefully you're in a work environment where you can say that. Or. But. Yeah. Women. That's the thing that a lot of guys haven't fucking figured out, man. You call your manager a nigger? That's hilarious, dude. I love that. I fucking love that. That's a great workplace environment. I'm getting fucking shredded though, dude. I'm pretty happy about it. Okay, sidetrack. I haven't been this fucking shredded in a hot minute. The lighting doesn't do it justice. But I'm fucking diced, homie. The goal is 200 lean. I'm at about 190 lean right now. 190 and like probably 11% body fat. The goal is fucking 200 pounds at 9% body fat. Sub 10. I'll get there in about 3 to 6 months. She's a woman ex-bodybuilder too. There you go. That's another fucking thing. Women bodybuilders though, bro. Bodybuilding is basically for unrepentant drug addicts. That's basically what bodybuilding is dominated by women who are hookers, strippers, or drug addicts. Those are the women who go into bodybuilding. And most guys who go into bodybuilding did the same shits. They were all drug addicts. Most of them were drug addicts. And they're still drug addicts, and they just don't realize it. Have I found value in reading fiction? So I think that fiction is it can be great. If you're just reading fucking like dark romance, you should be executed. Okay. I'm just gonna let this fucking get taken down if it gets there. If you read dark romance, unironically, work camp. Immediately to work camp. Okay, and you have an ankle monitor on at all times for the rest of your fucking life. But I think that fiction can be a great tool, but just purely for expanding your vocabulary, and it's better than the alternative, which is doom scrolling TikTok, which I do too much now. I do that too much now. I can feel myself becoming more retarded every minute that I scroll on TikTok. Like I'm watching myself scroll through TikTok, and I'm like, I'm gonna kill myself. I should kill myself, but I don't stop. The flesh is real. The struggle between the flesh and the spirit is real. And that's a whole nother topic. I made a video about the flesh and the spirit, what that is. Because I'm a fucking gay-ass philosopher. We're running the PS5 games tonight, right? I think that we should, yeah, we'll do Ready or Not, homie. I think that, I don't have Warzone or anything like that. I might get it, but I don't, Ready or Not or fucking Battlefield, I have Battlefield. We'll fucking chat about it and we'll play a little bit. But reading fiction is good. If you're reading like the classics and stuff like that, I think it's fine. But I find that reading nonfiction is just the most productive. And to me, I find it the most entertaining. When I was a kid, I liked reading nonfiction because like, oh, my imagination. But I think nonfiction is great because you're doing something that makes you smarter. You're learning. Yeah, no, obviously, well, I think I haven't I've read a lot of Dostoevsky, especially I listen to a lot of audiobooks and I've read, a few of his books, but I don't know. His books they're just fucking sometimes, bro, hard to listen to. They're very in depth. They're very in depth. Um, And yeah, but and honestly, sometimes because like if I'm locked in, it's easy for me to understand it and read it. But I have fucking serious ADHD, as gay as that sounds. So I'll have to reread shit 5 to 10 times because I'm OCD about my retention. Okay, I'm OCD about it. So if I don't feel like I've comprehended something, I'll read it until everything clicks in my fucking head. And Albert Camus, yes, Book of Five Rings, dude, solid fucking book. But here's the thing with a lot of these philosophy books is they're awesome, especially when you're younger. And they do give you perspective. Like obviously that's a great book. But it's like, what the fuck is that really teaching you though? I've noticed I went through a period of my life where I thought that I could intellectualize myself out of everything that if I read, because I read, that's all I do is I listen to audiobooks and I listen to podcasts and then I read too. Not so much recently. But I end up just absorbing so much information that sometimes it takes like years for shit to really click. So you can't read too much. You got to keep it very short and limited, like 10 to 30 minutes of actual focused reading time, or else you're just going to have too much. You're going to be blasted with too much knowledge. So just 10 to 30 minutes of focused fucking reading time. Retain everything that you possibly can, because more isn't always better, especially when it comes to reading. We have it's been so long since, I've read so many books since then, I can barely remember the fucking book. But the Book of Five Rings is fucking great. It's a good book. It's obviously classic. Like, the dude who fucking, like, you can measure a tree, but you can measure something by its fruits. And that guy was a badass motherfucker, okay? And I think if you're going to read books, who the person it comes from is extremely important. People always say, oh, separate the art from the artist. And I'm like, sure, that sounds good and all. But I'm not going to listen to a homeless person on how to become, like, a homeless person can come up to you blackout fucking drunk and ramble on for 10 minutes and give you a few nuggets of truth. Does that mean you should listen to the motherfucker? No it doesn't. Knowledge is a lot better if it comes from somebody who is fucking badass, dude. Like, if your dad's a pussy and he tells you to do shit you're not going to you got to respect the person that you're reading. That's why Leon deGrelle is such a fucking badass. Because, I mean, there's almost nobody who's more badass on the planet than Leon deGrelle, objectively. And Dostoevsky, great fucking dude. Solid fucking dude. Everything in moderation, including moderation. Very profound and true. Very true. Because sometimes, bro, you got to be obsessed, bro. If you look at the most successful people on the planet, they're fucking weirdos. They're autistically obsessed about. Nobody who has ever done anything very impressive in their life did so by being moderate. Moderate political movements don't win. They don't inspire the fire inside of people. Revolutions aren't started by moderates. The greatest works of literature aren't written by people who are moderate. Intensity, single-minded intensity is what builds greatness. Greatness in and of itself is not moderation. Now greatness, I forgot who said it, but greatness is not an act but a habit. So you can't also be moderately consistent. Obviously consistency is everything if you want to be great. But a consistent obsession. Your life has to reflect and permeate with your obsession. Everything has to be revolved around it. Like when I started getting into content creation, not that I'm fucking great, I'm not going to even say that. Oh, I'm not even going to use myself as a fucking example. That's kind of gay. So anybody, dude, you just become obsessed with something. You get out what you put into things. If you want to get good at content creation, if you want to get good at anything, if you want to get good at martial arts, if you want to get good at writing, if you want to get good at anything, you completely immerse yourself in that subject. That's the easiest way to do it. And that doesn't mean that you're going to be great, but you have to create an environment that is conducive to being great at that thing. Everything in your environment has to reflect what it is that you want to be great at. And a man who chases two rabbits catches neither one. Right? So you can't just want to be good at everything. You need to chase one thing obsessively. And this is advice to myself too. When I'm saying these things, I'm speaking most for myself. So you have to, if you want to fucking, I'm going to get good at content creation. I'm going to get all this kind of stuff. So what should I do? I should listen to things that are related to content creation. When I write, it should be focused on that. And we can control our thoughts. Our thoughts are habits. Okay? And our thoughts create habits. So you shouldn't allow your mind to wander in all of these fruitless machinations and all of these ephemeral, we shouldn't allow them to be based off of all these dumb ephemeral things. We should structure our thoughts around what it is that we're trying to be successful at. If you want to be great at something, you need to think about that something as much as possible and direct your mind and command your mind to obsess over that thing. I mean, it's a complete 180 to what we're used to doing now. And when you realize the power of your mind, you realize when you realize how important your thoughts are, it does change your life quite a bit. It's like you go up a floor, you move up a level, you move up in your consciousness, and you gain some awareness. Because you realize that, oh wait, I can actually think about things. I can actually direct my thoughts to accomplishing specific goals. And the more I think about something, the more I unlock and open doors related to that something. It's like you connect to a different stream of consciousness. Like if you're sitting there and thinking about your insecurities all the time, you're going to discover all these different insecurities. It's going to manifest in so many different ways. And there's a domino effect. But if you're sitting there and actually devoting your thoughts to, say, being successful in a specific area, like we sit here and think, man, I wish I was blessed. Some people are just blessed because they developed these thought patterns at a very young age. And developing thought patterns is something that takes a lot of fucking work, because you got to realize it's just a lot of things that go into it. But developing these thought patterns is what's going to make you successful. These people who are great at these things are mostly great because of their thoughts, because of the way that their brain works. And now, how do I get my brain to function on a level where my thoughts are fucking good? They're good thoughts. That I have good intuition. Like the people who invested in Bitcoin when it first came out. Oh, I need to invest in that. Like, how do these people just come up with all these good thoughts that are beneficial to them? And you can come up with thoughts, you can get your brain to start working for you. You got to declutter it, and you just got to start making it a habit to think about things that benefit you. Your brain is the most powerful thing ever. And when you start getting that, and if you have fucking like ADHD, addictive tendencies, a fucking crazy brain that's extremely intense and it feels like it's a little bit too much to handle sometimes. Now imagine being able to get that brain to work in your favor. Like a productive engine. Absolutely, that's a great way to put it. Disproportionate obsession and actionable intentionality leads to great results. I mean, those are the only things that lead to great results. That's what greatness is. Proper thought paired with proper action. Absolutely. Intense thought paired with intense action. Those are the only two things that you need to be great. Those are the only two things you need to be fucking great. It doesn't matter you're going to be great. It doesn't mean that you're going to be great now. But those two things put together is what creates the fertile soil for greatness. And it's what allows you to conquer, and it's what allows you to do things, amazing things, as they come up, as opportunities present themselves too. And it allows you to create your own opportunities. It's an interesting process training your mind to stay in a directed lane and to make that a baseline habit into muscle memory to mitigate your mind from wandering. It is a very difficult thing. A lot of word salad there. But I like it when people utilize English language. But instead of just being simple, but absolutely. Your brain is a muscle, and if the flow of your mind is always neurotic and just going to all these different fucking places. That's why it's important to train kids at a very young age to have a focused mind and to not just let them wander. That's why class can be a beautiful instructive tool. Sitting down and making your kids focus, because it is a fucking muscle. I mean, most people's minds go all over the fucking place. That's why they're neurotic. But imagine, people already have this gift, but most of us don't. Imagine being able to have your mind work for you, to be able to command your own mind. And to be able to have a single, intense focus and clarity. I mean, that's a superpower. That is happiness. That is fulfillment. That's not the work. That's not work. That's not hard. Like, as a man, there's nothing more beautiful than having a passion and a single-minded focus toward a certain goal. There's nothing more inspiring and beautiful than that. There's nothing. As men, we should pray for this. That is a flow state. And that's a fucking superpower, man. There's nothing. That's why when you pray to God for things, you should not pray for things. You should pray for this single-minded focus, this intensity, this ability to command your mind at will, this wisdom. I mean, King Solomon, when God said, what he asked God most for was wisdom. And as men, that's what we should pray for, and that's what we should try to get. And then we should develop the propensity for action. Action without thought is stupidity. Thought without action is insanity. To be great, you must have those two things working together. And it is very simple. Focus on not being so impulsive. and focus on not being so neurotic. If you can build those two things, and better yet, if you can build your kid to have those two things, to be able to trust his intuition and to be able to act on things fearlessly, knowing that you're going to make mistakes, but understanding that the right decision is the one that you make. And if you're able to foster in your kid the ability to focus and have his mind work for him and to not have a cluttered brain, I mean, what better gift can you give a child? Yeah, bro, come up here. Let's hit the gym. My fucking long form content, man, it's so hard for me just to be funny because I take this shit seriously. I take this shit very seriously and I love talking about these topics. I think it's very important for young men to hear this too. Because men are very starved and people in general are just very starved of advice. You know, men are very starved of advice. And honestly, I don't give a fuck if this gets a lot of views. I don't really give a fuck. Society is indeed primed to facilitate and exasperate neurosis. Indeed, that's what society is for. Because a population that isn't like that is a very productive society. And this is why fascism is so fucking great. Okay, I'm a little bit of a fascist LARPer, but the more that I actually read into it, the more that I actually agree with it. That the state should be there to foster these two things, which is living a life congruent with your conscience and developing a higher level of consciousness in the society. And that doesn't mean that let people do whatever the fuck they want. Because if you let people do whatever the fuck they want, there will almost always be problems. And if you allow whatever influences negative or negative influence, if you just allow negative influences in a society, I mean, how is that a good thing? How is that good? There is no man freer than that with a just master. We all are a slave to something. Free will is an illusion. Free will in the way that people think about it. Free will isn't a real thing. We have freedom of choice. If you go to your choices are dictated by your life, everything you've done up until this point, your environment, the people around you, and who you are as a person. You can't just will yourself to have a calm mind. We have freedom of choice, as what people would, a better way to put it, in my opinion, would be we have freedom of choice. And those choices are heavily dictated by outside factors. So if you create a society, if you govern your society in a manner that is conducive to a healthy people, but should porn be legal? No, it shouldn't be illegal. So I'm going to go on a little Hitler tirade for a second. Absolutely. We can do as we will, but we cannot will as we will. That's a good way to put it. That's the flesh and the spirit. Because we do not always do what we will. Paul talks about this. What I will to do, I can't do. I don't do. It's almost like you're at war with yourself at all times. Because that awareness that we have is not of this world. The awareness of the struggle, which, by the way, most people don't have this. Most people aren't even able to comprehend this. Most people aren't because they're stupid. I'm speaking primarily of low intelligent people. Because they don't really have a will. They have impulse and they act on it. And that's for multiple reasons. Mostly due to climate and environment and developing along those lines. And that climate and environment selects for certain attributes in hot environments like Africa. What those environments do is those environments select for very impulsive behavior, Cold environments select for people who need to operate in groups and need to actually plan ahead, blah, blah, blah. So you have a lot more retarded people coming out of warm environments, and you have a lot more intelligent people coming out of environments that have fluctuating weather, that have seasons. Because you have to think about hypotheticals. What happens if it's cold? What would I have to do to plan for the cold? And you actually have to learn. But in hot environments, you don't have to think. You can act on impulse and survive. In fact, they select for people, the environment is conducive for people who are impulsive but strong. Creates a much more animalistic, impulsive, and primal environment. Cold environments select for the intelligent. You have to build societies in cold environments. If you don't get along well with the society, you get kicked out and then you die in the winter. But the whole Hitler thing. So what Hitler did, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Great Economic Miracle. The Great Economic Miracle was a 10-year period where Germany saw the highest increase in standard of living in a 10-year period than any civilization since the beginning of time. The Weimar Republic, the Weimar Germany, was a horrible place to live. And this has been talked, I'm beating a dead horse. I'm talking about shit they've been talking about for like 10 years, but it was a terrible fucking place to live. The first two things that he banned was pornography, and then he banned usury. Now, those were great decisions because he took out negative influences. People were a slave to their lust. Took out that option. Now you have to direct your lust toward more healthy outlets. And then he took away the financial slavery of his people through usury. And then guess what? The group of people who make money by preying on the worst aspects of human beings got really pissed off about that. And they declared war on him first. Absolutely. And you need elitism. There are simply castes of people who are more spiritually enlightened, more intelligent, and those people should be the ones that are in control of the society. It only makes sense. You should not have the people, like, why the fuck would you have the average person involved in that process? It doesn't make any sense. But the problem with that is every society devolves through time. Every society degrades. And how does it degrade? Through outside influence primarily. Through outside influence. Usually by bringing in different types of peoples. So the only way a real fascist, the only way that this ideal version of government would be able to function is if you had basically a hermetically sealed society. In a society that had a cast of people that were very tight-knit, very selective. Yeah, what books did they burn? What books did the Nazis burn? They went out the Frankfurt School of Germany. Not everyone knows this, but this has been talked about by a bunch, but we all know this. At this point, if you don't know this, you're an idiot. They're burning not the Bible. They were burning the shit that was polluting the young. They were burning porn. They were burning propaganda, communist and gay propaganda. Manuals and textbooks talking about how to actually, like, just fucking gay shit, dude. Okay, they were just burning gay shit. It wasn't like fucking Voltaire. They weren't burning Kant. They weren't burning Shakespeare. Okay, they were burning transgender manuals on how to actually do transgender surgeries. And disgusting communist propaganda. Exactly. And we should do the same shit now. Fascism is a response to a degenerate society. It is a, and I don't think that's going to happen now. Like every government to some extent is fascist. Like this government is, I wouldn't even say fascist, but there is no free speech. It doesn't exist. There is no constitution. The constitution doesn't exist. It's stupid. If you're going to have a government, you have to have a government that creates rules that are good for the people. You have to. Magnus Hirschfeld, yes. I believe that was the guy who came up with the. Let's actually look up exactly who the fuck Magnus. My brain's fucking fried right now. Yep. Yep, a sexologist. Yeah, the German physician. Yeah, it says German physician. I believe that he was actually Jewish. Um, His committee carried out the first advocacy for homosexual and transgender rights. Hirschfeld is regarded as one of the most influential 20th century sexologists. Like, what the fuck is a sexologist? Like, this is where a lot of our all of our fucked up mind virus shit came from right now. Oh, gender isn't gender. If you're talking work camp. Okay, the older I get, the more I understand work camps. I'm not opposed to work camps. I'm not opposed to this shit. Okay, I'm not opposed to it. The levers of power aren't as important as the people who are actually in control of the levers of power. The decisions are going to be made. The government's going to be making decisions. Every government is in control of our life. Okay, you're not going to avoid that, or else you just wouldn't have a government. So, what would you rather have? A government that makes rules that are bad for you, or a government that makes rules that are good for you? A government's going to be oppressive to some people no matter what. So, should the government be oppressing your enemies or your friends? I'd rather the government oppress my enemies. I'm not going to take the high road here. I think the government should oppress my enemies. The government should silence my enemies. That's what they want to do to us. That's what they've been trying to do to us forever. And the reason why we keep losing, who the fuck is we? But the only reason why one side keeps losing is because one side is like, oh, we need freedom this, freedom that. It's like, dude, you're not even playing the same game. Every time they take power, they silence you. And they use the tools, the levers of power against you. So you know what? Yeah, we should use the levers of power against our political enemies. That's exactly what we should do. Use the levers of power against our political enemies. That's what everybody does anyway. Why the fuck are we not playing by those rules? Oh, like, what are we just going to let people do whatever the fuck they want to us without any recourse? Hirschfeld was born in Kolberg in Pomerania to an Ashkenazi Jewish family. So why does it say he is a German? He was born to an Ashkenazi Jewish family, but it says when you look him up, he was and you see this trick. It's parasitic mimicry is what it is. Parasitic mimicry. So he's Jewish, but when you look him up, it says that he's German. Yeah. Okay. Fucking checks out, dude. Fucking checks out. So you're a crusader, that's the thing. I'm not gonna fucking LARP as a crusader. I'm not out there wielding a sword. I'm in my fucking apartment like a loser, waiting on my peptide company and my all this shit to come together. I'm not a fucking crusader. That'd be LARPing as fuck. Alright, don't call me buddy, dude. Don't call me fucking buddy, Eric. Buddy. I'm going to visit buddy. See, the tone of that I could tell wasn't condescending. But don't call me fucking buddy, bro. I fucking hate that shit so much. Watch a Turin horse monologue. Very similar to what you're saying. Proud to be Hungarian. Hell yeah, dude. One second. I'm having to look a lot of shit up. So, what are your thoughts on Vlad? You're Hungarian. It's not the exact same, but what are your thoughts on Vlad the Impaler? A lot of people think of that Vlad the Impaler as a bad dude. Right? No, Vlad the Impaler was fucking a badass, dude. If it wasn't for him, the Muslims would have taken over all of fucking Europe. See, this is how history gets completely distorted. Pretty much everything that we're told about white history, since the beginning of time, people have been trying to make white people look bad through revisionist history and through just like the Congo, like all these white atrocities. And I don't want to be biased or anything like that, but I don't think, obviously white people have committed atrocities, white people have been bad, but just, I don't think that's really the case, man. I think every government that's been white, primarily white, without foreign influence, was a good fucking government. It can be any form of government with the exception of communism. Because communism in and of itself is number one, a Jewish ideology. And number two, it's violent and it takes away the idea of private property rights, all that fun shit. So I mean, with the exclusion of communism, every governmental system wielded by white people, those with good intentions, can be a very good form of government. But Vlad the Impaler, he's seen as doing all these horrible atrocities. Yeah, he did a bunch of horrible shit, but dude, they were out massive. I'm pretty sure it was like a 1 to 100. It was like 1 to 100. Transylvania's tiny, and they held back all of the Muslim hordes. How did he do that? Through intimidation and through scaring them. So when they came into the country, they saw all of this horrible shit, and they didn't fucking touch him. He saved fucking Europe. All of these lies that we're told, we're always told from a young age, from birth, everything is laced with this anti-white hatred. Everything is. I do have a cross on my neck, but that does not make me a fucking crusader. But the thing is, there is no Jew who hasn't. So here's another thing: is there is no such thing as a Jew by a German Jew. Jews don't even recognize this. They're Jewish first, and everything else is just to benefit them. If they're German by nationality, first of all, they belong to the Jewish. It doesn't the Jewish diaspora. They don't claim to be a citizen of any other country. They're Jewish first and foremost, and that's what they are. I have so much righteous violence in my DNA. Okay, let's pause on the LARPing here. Let's pause on the LARP. Okay, it does sound cool, but I highly doubt you're out there fucking committing. You're living up to the name. Okay, none of us really are. No LARPing. We have a terrifying history together with collective values toward a common goal. White guy rage is not to be taken light. Yeah, it is, bro. White guy rage is to be taken light. I mean, what the fuck are white guys doing nowadays? I love white people, but what the fuck are we, dude, come on. Okay. White people are basically the footstool for the rest. We're letting everybody, we can't sit here and be like, white guy rage. You got to be really careful into going into the territory of LARPing. Okay, be really careful. Let's have some self-awareness here. Okay, let's be honest here. White people are a fucking joke right now. That doesn't mean that we've always been that way, but we are a fucking joke. We're letting people rape us. We're being raped, and we're letting it happen. Okay, and we can talk as hard as we want online, but that doesn't change the fact that we're not changing it. Okay, that's why we need to become rich, powerful, and not talk like this. Not be like, oh, white guy rage isn't to be taken lightly. You know, I do agree. When white people are the most effective at war and combat and all this kind of shit. I do think that. It's not necessarily because like we're special. I'm not saying we're superior. I'm not saying that. But we have created the best, most effective civilizations on the planet. And what makes this good civilization is the ability to wage war, be effective at waging war. The Jews are big fans of the parasitic mimicry. Chaim Herzog, the sixth president of Israel, was born in Ireland, my country, and considered himself Irish despite his parents being born in Poland. Listen to the metal song about Vlad Dracul Vodomny Dinu in Transylvania. It goes hard in the gym. Yeah, you're right. Historically, no joke. Currently, not so much. Yeah, we're kind of a joke right now, guys. White people are kind of we're a little bit of a joke. We're being taken advantage of, and we're letting it happen. We're letting everybody fuck us. Well, dude, if you have the biggest conspiracy theory, throw it in the chat, homie. Throw it in the fucking chat. Yeah, no, I think that it's obviously sad we're fucking white people of what's happened with us, but I do see a resurgence, man, because the pendulum is starting to swing the other way, and it's not going to be this like, bro, we got to stop getting that whole idea of like badass, like this whole badass LARP. Okay, it's cringy. Okay, the pendulum is swinging the other way in favor for white people waking up. It is swinging the other way. Anti-Semitic sentiments going up. Distrust of the government's going up. more traditional values are going up. The things that are going to make us band together. Now, what does the future look like for white people? I have no fucking idea. I have no fucking idea. But I do think it has a possibility of getting better, but very slowly but surely. Things like this take a lot of time. Like as you guys know, it takes not very long for you to get into bad habits, but it takes a long time for you to get into good habits, and it takes a lot of work. So it's going to take people getting their voice out there, making a lot of money, getting political power, and actually instituting change. Battlefield 6 tonight? I mean, let's play some fucking Battlefield 6, guys. But yeah, no, I don't think that, like, people, man, there's so much fucking LARP. There's so much fucking cringe LARP in the world, dude. All these fucking cringy ass white dudes who actually aren't physically capable, who spend too much time online, who want to LARP as crusaders, talk about white rage. I'm not saying you guys, but talk about white rage and all this kind of shit, and it's just very fucking cringy, bro. It's like, just flip, I asked for a cheeseburger, homie, and a cheeseburger with no pickles. Actually, I love pickles. Cheeseburger with extra pickles, please. Enough about Constantinople. It's fun to talk about that shit sometimes, but it's like, at some certain point, guys, fucking LARP, LARP, LARP. So I think California is pushing the middle class out so they become poor and need government assistance so they can launder the money that went missing from the Pentagon. Okay, there's a lot more than that. Sure, that might be one reason, but so you gotta understand, it's not about money. People always want to say money, money, money. It's not about money. Okay, the Jewish elites, specifically the elites, gay term, but we'll say the elites, Jewish supremacy is tied into that. They have all of the money in the world. They invented money. It's not about money for them. All of these people are Kabbalistic. They're Jewish mystics. They're in the occult. They're not driven by money. They don't need more money. They control money. They control society. So making California the way that it is isn't because of money. Okay, it's about control. It's about bringing the Antichrist. They think in spans of 100 years. They think in spans of a lot of years. Their minds do not operate the same that ours do. Okay, they don't think, oh, we need to get more money. No, they think we need to punish these people. Like Jews still hold a grudge against Rome for taking their menorah after all of this time. They have hatred toward white people. The elites hate white people. That's why they went after Germany. That's why Germany suffered the fate that it did in World War II, is because they hated Germany. The reason why they killed Jesus is because they hated Jesus. The reason why we're getting what's happening to white people nowadays, what's happening to us is happening to us because they hate us. Okay? It's because they fucking hate us. So you gotta understand that. This is stemming from hatred. Shut up, woman. Shut up, Kelly. Okay? Fuck. They're not the reason why Christianity is thriving throughout the fucking world. Okay? The Crusaders aren't doing anything now. They were bad. Okay, my point is that they were badass, sure. Okay, but there's no Crusaders anymore. Okay, let's give it up. They're not. If you that whole LARP, that whole Crusader thing nowadays is LARP. We're not Crusaders. There is no. That's not a thing. It's the past. Let's enjoy that it happened. Let's be glad that Crusaders went in the Middle East and fucked some shit up and waged a holy war. That shit's badass as fuck. And that's another thing that we're lied to about, because they hate white people. Everybody just fucking hates white people, and us white people being the fucking retarded pussies that we are right now. Not all of us. I love white people. But a lot of white people are pussies. And we don't have a lot of in-group preference, so we just let everybody walk all over us. But the reason why they're destroying our societies, like I said, is because they hate us. They're turning our women against us. They're making us weak. And they're ruining everything because they hate us. It's as simple as that. When you understand that they hate us, everything makes sense. Like, why are they bringing all these immigrants? Oh, because they hate us. Why do they tax us so much? They hate us. It's not just because they want money. It's because they want power over us and they want to make us suffer and they want to make us feel pain. Yeah, you should love being white. Like, let's be honest. If anyone could be born as any race, they'd probably be born as white. Okay, we're goated. Okay, I fucking love white people. And I get pretty fucking dark. So here in a few months, I'm not gonna look white anymore. But then I'll say, you guys, you white people are great. But let's see. Oh, what are we at right now? Oh fuck, we're at almost an hour and a half, dude. Holy fuck, I've been running my mouth for a long ass time. Okay, 5 more minutes. Answer some fucking chats here in about 5 minutes. Eventually, once I get enough followers, I'm gonna do super chats. So you guys have to pay me to do chats. I'm trying to make some fucking money, nigga. I'm trying to get some power. I'm trying to get some fucking influence. Tan LARPing. I'll be black LARPing. Hair's looking good today, though. Hair's looking good. I'm trying to get that fucking Brad Pitt from Troy look. Tan skin, cut up, nice long wavy hair. Look at that. Look at that shit. Racial ambiguity is just an urban ghillie suit. That's true. People always ask me if I'm fucking Italian or some shit. I don't even know. I look like I was. People say that I look like I'm Greek or some shit. Well, actually, I take that as a fucking compliment. I'm sorry, I work for IDOC, bro. Hey, you fucking. That's. I'll be honest. You could be a Fed, bro. At first, I thought you. Bro, I got reached out to by a few. I'm pretty sure I'm getting reached out to by actual Feds. Like that's not even a joke. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 100% positive I'm being watched by the fucking federal government. So I just gotta be really careful. Because I'm on probation and people out there do fucking hate me. It's not like my content's getting a fuck ton of views right now. It's not like that I'm that fucking important, but it doesn't matter. People still fucking hate me. And that's crazy, bro. So this guy fucking reached. It turns out this guy fucking worked for IDOC, and then he was following me. He worked for the same Department of Corrections that I ended up getting arrested in. And turns out one of his fucking superiors didn't like me. He'd known about me, thought I was a fucking terrorist or some shit. Just crazy shit, bro. Crazy shit. All my messages were getting, and sorry that you're a personal trainer, bro. Hopefully you're making decent money, but when I was one, it was a grind, bro. It's not an easy job. It can be easy, but not if you actually give a fuck about people. I was a personal trainer for like 10 years almost. Like 6 years. Yeah, bro. I'm glad I'm not totally. I'm glad I'm not white, like British white. I'm glad I'm not fucking. I do have some English and Scottish in me. I'm German, from my understanding. I'm German, English, Scottish, Irish. My last name's Irish, done. German, English, Scottish, Irish, and I have some fucking Native American. Not some Native American, and I think I might be like 1% Ashkenazi Jewish, or like less than a percent. So sorry about that, guys. I have to do 23andMe, but I think my mom did a test and she was like 2% Ashkenazi Jew. So, or maybe less. So I might be 1 or 2% Ashkenazi Jewish. So when I found that out, I didn't know if I was going to get in heaven. So I'm hoping it's just an error. I'm hoping it was just an error, and I'm going to test to see I really am 1% Ashkenazi Jewish. Because what a fucking like great genetics, and then God just had to go dunk and put a little drop of fucking the synagogue of Satan in there. I look more German. That works. I'm okay with German. Very based race to be. Yeah, okay, do you actually get base pay? I've never gotten base pay as a fucking personal trainer. I've always gone off just commission. So that's nice you're getting a fucking base pay. Hopefully your commission's like at least 30% then. Because I was getting 40% commission with no base pay. We was Navajos and shit, man. We was Navajos and shit up in here, homie. Couple minutes, guys. Couple minutes. I need to start posting more on TikTok, but my shit right now is fucking shadow banned. Look at that. All right, we're gonna be gay for a second. Boom. The torso's there, dude. The torso is there. Boom. Torso's there. Okay. Oh, torso's there. The back's there. The back's definitely there. We're gonna take a look at the back. Boom. Look at that, dude. Not even good lighting, but look at that. You can see the fucking striations, bro. Boom. Look at that. It's there. Okay. We just gotta get a little more bulbous size on us. Gotta get a little more bulbous. You gotta get a little more succulent and juicy. You know what I'm saying? But I can't wait for my Instagram's back until my Instagram's back up so I can post my fucking workout programs and shit, bro. TikTok is just so gay. There's nothing gayer than TikTok. Fuck, TikTok is so gay. Hot. If I knew you were a girl, if I didn't know you were a girl, it'd be even funnier for you saying that in the chat. Hot. I mean, what's funny is the gayest shit I ever got in my comments when I was on Instagram was from straight men. No, actually, that's not true. So fuck, dude. This stream could go on forever, dude. When I first went viral on Instagram, my first time getting up to 80K, my first account before they took it down. I mean, bro, so it turns out that this fucking gay dude, so it's a massive internet fetish. It's like a fetish for gay men to spoil alpha males. So this dude reaches out, he's like, hey, this guy just nonchalantly, non-threateningly, doesn't seem like he has anything where he's like, hey bro, I'm part of an online community and we like to, give money to really masculine dudes who like put a good masculine example out there. Is it okay if me and my homies, is it okay if I give you their information in this group to start giving you money on your PayPal? I'm like, hey bro, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, my PayPal's up there, bro. If you want to support me, you can support me. That's fine. I don't care. Bro, I got like $1,000 in a day. I was just getting fuck tons of money. And I was like, what the fuck is going on, bro? What is going on? This is crazy. And then I go to my DMs. I wake up the next day, I go to my DMs, bro. My DMs are flooded with the most fucked up, twisted, gay shit you'll ever read in your life. The most fucked up, weird gay. Girls will talk about, oh, God, you don't know what it's like to get catcalled. Motherfucker, look at me. I know what it's like to get catcalled. By some women, but mostly by fucking sexually aggressive gay dudes, okay? By sexually aggressive gay, there's nobody more fucking sexually aggressive than a porn addicted gay man. And they would reach out with the most horrendous shit. I'm like, hey bro, I guess you miss 100% of the shots you don't take on me, but don't be shooting your shots at me. This is disturbing. It started to disturb me. I'm a pretty resilient guy. But these messages disturbed me after a while. It's like, hey, master. I'm like, whoa. After a while, I'd screenshot all of them with their usernames and I'd post them on my story every day. I'd have a dozen of them. Or like, maybe not a dozen, but a lot. I'd be like, fucking gay dude of the day or whatever. I'm like, bro, I don't care if you're gay. Okay? I'm not going to promote it. But there's a difference between being gay and then being that much of a depraved, base individual where you're going to reach out and say that shit. So I'd shame them on my fucking profile. And after a while, they got the hint and stopped. And I would just block these guys. I don't even want your money. If you're going to send me money and you're gay, that's fine. But don't send money and attach to it some gay shit. Because if you attach some gay shit to it, I'm going to decline the money. Because at that point, you're, like, as a man who's trying to be a good example, I can't, I know where that money's coming. I know why I'm getting that money. So I'm not going to take it. So I would just start rejecting all that shit. I turned down a lot of fucking money. A lot of money. Like probably tens of thousands of dollars. Which would have been nice to have. And there were moments where I'm like, fuck, it's not that big of a deal. I've told guys about this and they're like, bro, I don't give a fuck where the money's coming from. I'm like, yeah, but if I didn't know where the money was coming from, that's fine. But the problem is I knew that the money was coming from certain people for certain reasons. And so I fucking rejected it. My chest genetics are prime. Hell yeah, bro. I appreciate that. My chest is fucking. I appreciate that, homie. Thank you. We got to build some fucking size though. I've been focusing on getting my legs bigger because I've had so many surgeries, bro, that they're not the same level the rest of my body's at. For sure, I'm definitely upper body dominant. So I've been focusing on my legs a lot at the detriment of the rest of my body. But I think I'm just gonna say fuck it, dude. If I'm a little top heavy, that's okay. As long as my glutes are get a little bit bigger, I'm okay. But my left leg's just not gonna get as big as my right one ever because of how much I'm gonna have surgery here soon. So I'm gonna be in crutches again here in the next few months. Again. So I'm just gonna say fuck it and just say fuck it, bro, and just try to get as big of a chest. I've never tried to actually maximize the size of my chest. I've never tried to do that. But I do have good chest genetics. So I'm trying to I definitely need to get that I want to see what my chest is capable of. My triceps, it's taking a long time to build those, bro. I didn't touch like a barbell for most of my lifting career. Like the only time I ever touched a barbell was when I was doing 8 sets of 3. I did 8 sets of 3 for everything for like a whole 2-3 years. But I didn't do any arms. I didn't do arms until I didn't do a dedicated arm day until like 3 years ago. So my torso was way ahead of my fucking arms. So definitely trying to build up the fucking arms and legs, the appendages. But my torso is solid. Bro, you got it. What do you mean torture you do a fucking leg day? That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be shitty, you know? Like you're supposed to put yourself through some fucking pain. Leg days are essential, bro. You should every Monday should be a fucking leg day, and you should hammer yourself into the ground. If you don't know what to do, bro, like a good workout is 10 sets of 10 back squat with good form. Don't even need to use a lot of weight. But that's like, it should only take 20 minutes. 10 sets of 10 with maybe a minute and a half rest in between sets. Not that much weight, as much as you can handle. Hell, even just one plate or less, doesn't matter. But that will build up your mental fortitude. I mean, legs suck to train. Legs suck to train. So you should train legs. As a man, you should do things that are difficult. And that's why I didn't ever train arms, because I thought training arms was pussy shit. So I just didn't do arms. Well, bro, if you want your chest to grow, like I grew up doing push-ups. Like when I would get punished as a kid, I would get, you know, when I didn't start getting beat until I was like a little bit older, like middle school and on. When I was younger, dude, the way I'd get punished in my house was push-ups. Like, if you're not smart, you better be strong, was the motto of my household. So if I did something stupid, I'd have to do push-ups, like count push-ups, like full rep, good form push-ups. And my dad would sit there and count them. And he'd go like 1, 2, and I'd have to get to 100 every time I did something. Minimum was 100. So I started developing my chest my chest has always been developed. But do a lot. If you want to get your chest up, bro, do a lot of chest. You can get your chest nice and big. What you got to do is you got to do a lot of, so incline bench, but like 10 sets of 10, bro. If you really want to fucking get a muscle bigger, hit that muscle twice a week. And one of the days, do 10 sets of 10. And I can get in the whole, I've all the science-based shit. It just works. Okay. It just fucking works. I don't care who you are, bro. 10 sets of 10 is going to fucking smoke you. It doesn't matter how that amount of volume. Oh, junk volume. Lick my balls. Okay. Lick my balls. Cup them even. Okay. Cup my balls because fuck you. Cup them. Because 10 sets of 10 is like you're sitting there and you're putting all of that energy into one good fucking movement, and you're making that fucking muscle. You're telling that muscle you need to fucking grow. If you don't agree with me, you're wrong. Number one, you're just wrong. 10 sets of 10 is fucking great. Focused, every set fucking counts. You go into every and that's all you do. Just do 10 sets of 10, no accessories, and every single set is its own little battle. And you mentally prepare yourself for every set, and you're like, I'm going to do, and you don't worry about, I have 10 sets of 10. No, you're like, I'm doing 10 sets, and every single set is gonna fucking suck, and that's all I'm doing that day, and you will grow that body part. That body part, you're not, and then if you have enough sufficient nutrient intake and sufficient sleep, that muscle has no other recourse but to adapt. Because if it doesn't adapt, it's retarded, and your body's not retarded. You're going to force that fucking muscle to grow. 10 sets of 10 is fucking phenomenal. Yo, what's up, my nigga? So so if you're doing a muscle, I wouldn't do it 3 days a week. I would just hammer it hard one day, like fucking 10 sets of 10 everything you got, bro, and you will be sore. And then give yourself 3 days of rest, and then hit it again. Not as hard, with less compound movements, more focusing on your accessories. One day you're going to go there, and you're like, hey, motherfucker, you're gonna fucking grow. I'm gonna go to the gym, and I'm gonna fuck you up, that muscle part. Okay. And has other benefits. It's like you go there and you should be a little bit nervous when you show up for that day where it's 10 sets of 10. Like, I'm a little nervous. Warm up properly, do some good mobility, and then go in there and rape that muscle for 10 sets of 10. And then the next day, do your accessories. So if chest one day, just 10 sets of 10 on incline bench, I would recommend dumbbells, honestly. People can disagree with me, but I would do dumbbell bench. Dumbbell incline, 10 sets of 10, or barbell incline for 10 sets of 10. Focus on your actual chest. And then the second day you come in, you're doing, say the first day you come in, you do barbell incline. The second day you come in, you're doing dumbbell incline, alternating. Okay, boom. Like this, keep it down. Don't do this. Okay, you can do, I guess you can do that. So, but just really focus on getting that good deep fucking stretch, making sure everything's operating, that you're actually feeling it in your chest. And then go to like flies, not dumbbell flies, but just flies. And then, and then do some triceps and some side delts, decent amount of side delts. And then finish with some push-ups. Finish your chest days. Finish that chest day with like two sets of max push-ups, at least one, where you're literally getting, like when I say max push-ups, I mean to absolute failure with good form, to complete and utter failure with good form. So Anatoly's great and all. So yeah, he does isometrics. Isometrics are great, but they're not really going to build a lot of muscle. They'll build strength, they'll build tendon strength and all that fun shit. But what I'm saying is going to build you. Just do what I'm saying, right? That's what I would do. He does strength training. He focuses on something else. If you're trying to build something, I wouldn't necessarily do what he's doing. Progressive overload is obviously technically the best way to grow muscle. Isometric holds are great for accessories. Don't base your workout off of isometric holds, but sprinkle in isometric holds. Like, have one isometric. Just mop. That's all you need to do. I'm a woman. Listen to me. Yeah, why the fuck are you even talking about Anatoly? And all of his videos are fake, by the way. I don't know if you fucking know that, if you're just a dumb girl and you don't know that all of his videos where he like goes into the gym and fucking those videos are all fake. Okay, they're all fake. He's not even lifting that impressive of weight in those videos. He's a strong guy, but he's not like world-class powerlifter strong. Yes, so when I say do one session when you get into the gym, have one day, the muscle that you want to grow, have one day where all you do is 10 sets of 10. Every single set is hard. You go close to failure. Well, I don't even say close to, just pick a good fucking weight and then so say you want to start out with 135 for back squat. Or 135 for whatever, we'll say back squat. You start 1 week, do 135, 10 sets of 10. It should be fucking hard. If it's not hard, next week move up 10 pounds. If it is hard, try to move up by 5 pounds the next week, okay? And don't move up more than 5 pounds every time you go in. Don't move up by more than 5 pounds. If anything, just add 10 pounds a month. Try to add 10 pounds a month. Okay, and that's going to ensure that and make sure you have perfect fucking form. Perfect form. Trust me on this. Make sure you have absolutely perfect fucking form. And you actually feel it. If you don't have good form, lower the weight. So when you are progressively overloading, you have good form the entire time you're progressively overloading. That's going to benefit you in the fucking long run. And that's a lot more your progress is going to be more linear as opposed to coming up and plateauing. If you have perfect form the entire time, your progress is going to be more linear. So, anyway, that's enough of that. I'm gonna be getting a lot more fucking jacked here soon. A lot more fucking jacked. I've already gotten in better shape, like almost total body recomp in just a month. My body adjusts to shit real quick. So in prison it was just body weight shit. I wasn't super motivated. I was working out fucking hard, but it was very limited. You couldn't really do progressive overload. So, and I wasn't really focusing on just hammering my body every day like I have been. I was kind of focused on a lot of developing good movement patterns when I was in prison. not smoking myself like crazy every day, not really trying to, run my dick into the dirt when I was in prison. I was like, if I'm doing something, I'm having perfect form. If that means I'm only doing 10 reps, I'm not going to push it to 15 reps because my form started. I really fixed my posture and all that fun shit when I was in prison because I used that time to do that. All right, guys. I'm on a cut right now, so I don't think I'll be growing much, but as soon as the bulk starts at 10-10 will be implemented. Bro, do 10-10. You can still get bigger on a cut. You can still, as long as you're not in a super heavy cut, you can still get bigger. You can still get bigger. All right, guys. I appreciate you. Had a good time. That was a good talk. And